Over the past decade, so much has been added to Minecraft that it can barely be recognized as the same game anymore. But what updates is it still missing? In this video, I'll be showing you some of the best concepts for potential updates, to see what Minecraft could look like in the future. Throughout this video, I'll be combining mods with my own ideas to give a visual example of what these updates could look like, and all of them will be linked in the description if you want to try them yourself. Anyway, sit back and enjoy. Starting things off is an update that will completely change the outdated way that farming is done in Minecraft. This update is called the Food and Agriculture Update, and it has a few important additions. The first of these are new food options such as apple pie and different types of vegetables. Corn can also be added, and a brand new biome called the Cornfields to go along with it. In this biome, you'll be able to find a new mob called the Crow, which will destroy harvests, and you can use scarecrows to keep them away. A rare structure in this biome is the barn, where you can find horses with saddles as well as a food storage house filled with farming supplies. One last feature that could be added to this update is the ability to right-click crops, which will automatically replant them and save a lot of time while farming. For the next update, we'll need to focus our attention to the skies, in particular to the flying mobs in Minecraft, because currently there's only a handful of them in the game. 2 of these are only found in the Nether, 2 are bosses, and the others are only found under certain circumstances. This only leaves 2 other flying mobs that you'll see often while you're traveling. The first is the bat, which can only be found in caves and doesn't have any interesting loot or mechanics. The other is the bee, which is pretty common in forests and is the only useful flying mob that you can find easily. To fix the lack of flying mobs, an update called the Skies and Weather Update can be added to Minecraft. In this update, more bird variants could be added. Each of them would behave differently, with some being passive and some aggressive. Each bird species could be found exclusively in its own biome. For example, owls can be found in forests and gulls can be found on cliffs near the ocean. There can also be small islands full of rare bird nests that you can find out in the ocean. The last part of this update is a change to the weather system, because right now there's only 3 types of weather in Minecraft, being rain, snow and thunderstorms. However, 4 new weather conditions would fit well in this update. The first one is sandstorms. This weather condition will have a chance of happening in any of the desert biomes. It would have a slow damaging effect on the player and make it difficult to see, but the better armor you have, the less damage the sandstorm does to you. The next one is fog. Fog will have a chance of happening in forest biomes, and this won't have any negative effects on the player, but the area the fog will spawn in will have way more hostile mobs than usual. The fog only lasts for about a Minecraft day before it goes away. The next weather condition that can be added is blizzards. Blizzards will only happen when it's already snowing and the snowstorms turn into severe blizzards. This only has a small chance of happening, but the severe blizzard would have the same freezing effect as powdered snow that can kill you over time. If you get caught in this blizzard, you'll be able to survive by either hiding somewhere or wearing leather armor to keep yourself warm. The last weather condition is the rarest, and it's called a distortion. I'll talk about what these actually are in the next update, a little later into the video. For the last update, we'll need to travel to the end dimension. It's hard to believe, but the last time the end was updated was on February 29th, 2016, over 6 years ago. And this wasn't even a proper end update, as it mainly focused on updating combat mechanics. This is why a lot of people in the community want a new end update. However, in this video, I'll be showing you some concepts which I haven't seen be talked about. First, we'll need to introduce a few end biomes, because the features I'll be talking about will be biome specific, and since the Nether update had biomes, it makes sense for the end update to have them as well. So here are 3 potential biomes that could be added to the end. The first one is the End Barrens. This biome will be the same as the current end, with a few new additions. The first of these are caves, which will have 3 new blocks: crystal shards, purpur ore, and hardened endstone. Crystal shards are the most common ore and drop 3 to 4 at a time when mined, and they'll have a variety of uses. They can be combined with an iron ingot to create the crystal glasses, which you can wear to make it easier to see in the end, and they stop endermen from becoming aggressive if you look at them. One other use for the shards is a new device called the teleporter, which can be made with an eye of ender surrounded by shards. When used, this item creates a beacon-like block, and if you're within 100 blocks and right-click, it will teleport you back to the location of the beacon. This would be useful for exploring end cities when you're in a tough situation and you need to escape. It functions exactly like an ender pearl, but teleports you to a specific location. But keep in mind that this is a one-time use item. The purpur ore is much rarer, and if made into armor or weapons, has the properties of diamond but with much more durability than netherite. For example, a purpur sword will do as much damage as a diamond sword, but with higher durability than a netherite sword. A purpur pickaxe will mine as fast as a diamond pickaxe, but have more durability than a netherite pickaxe. The last new block, hardened endstone, can be found at the very bottom of the end islands, just above the void. This block is easy to mine but highly blast resistant, and would be a good building block. The next change to the end barrens is a new mob that you can find perched on chorus plants, and it's called the ender owl. The ender owl is a neutral mob, but if it sees you coming close, it will teleport away to another chorus plant. It drops an eye of ender on death. Earlier in the video I mentioned a new weather condition called distortions. Well, distortions will only happen in the end, and what these do is make all endermen in the area instantly turn aggressive towards the player for about a minute. This would be pretty rare though. The next biome is called the void. This biome would be a huge gap between end islands and can stretch for hundreds of blocks. In this biome you can find a structure called the end shuttle. This would be a huge ship-like structure that transports items between end cities. Be careful when approaching though, because there are shulkers on all sides protecting it. These shulkers aren't the same as those in the end cities though, because their projectiles will give you a new effect called quick falling, which will make you plummet right into the void, even with an elytra on. If you make it inside the end shuttle, you'll encounter a new boss called the shulk. This mob would be like a giant shulker box and can summon endermites and shoot projectiles. The loot you can find in end shuttles are books with the most powerful enchants and other rare minerals. There are also 3 new enchantments for the elytra in this update, being velocity, defense, and glide. Velocity will allow for the elytra to move at faster speeds at the expense of maneuverability. Defense would give the elytra protection like armor, and glide will allow for the elytra to have more time in the air. The last biome that would be added to the end is called the End Highlands. This biome will be the rarest of the 3, and it will feature mountain ranges of endstone. This is where a new structure called the End Tower will generate. This tower would be a great opportunity to implement the unused illusionary mob, which acts as a mini boss. There's a lot more potential for all these updates, but I wanted to keep it brief for this video. Thank you to everyone who made it this far, and let me know your thoughts on these updates in the comments. Bye.